For most people in crypto, this week was pretty boring. Not so for everybody that got into Bonk. Bonk is up massively. The question is, how much longer can this rally last and what's fueling all of this? Let's have a look at the data most people are not considering. So this is how the performance looks like over time. This is this week's rally. And I'm covering Bonk regularly on this channel here. The first video was published 600 days ago. It outperformed the average video quite a bit. The average video is this area in gray. The recent video again outperformed. So it seems like attention is coming back. At the time of publishing of the recent video, the price was at 0.4018. Now we're at 0.4023. So I try to cover the assets that are relevant in that particular point in time. I publish videos 2 to 3 times per day. So if it's your first time over here, feel free to subscribe. Now the big question with any investment is always, what's the potential risk versus reward? Now for reward, we can have somewhat of a guesstimate because we see other meme coins, what are their market caps and how does Bonk relatively stack up to that. Here's an overview of the largest meme coins across all blockchains. At number 1 is Dogecoin with a market cap of 25 billion. Bonk has a market cap of 1.8 billion. So is there a possibility we could see a 10x from here? It's not that clear because this is the meme coins across all blockchains. But for the meme coins within the Solana ecosystem, Bonk is already at number 1. By the way, when that last video on Bonk was published, it was still the Trump token that was at number 1. And we made the prediction that we are going to see that flip at some point. Now we've seen it. We are probably going to keep this order. I do not think that the official Trump token has the chance to regain number 1 again because of the tokenomics, because of the ever increasing token supply. Official Trump is not a good long-term investment. Mark my words, we will see the price below $5 in the not so distant future. But let's go back to Bonk. We've got 950,000 holders on chain. What we see here on the left side is the number of new wallets that interacted with the token on chain. On the right side, we see the number of token transactions per day. Both charts are for the last 30 days. So clearly the attention on the asset is coming back. There's more and more activity. We can ignore the latest data point because today has just started. What you're seeing over here is the trading volume. We looked at this in the last video as well. It seems like the small retail investor is trading Bonk the most. In general though, in terms of US dollar trading volume, we are really not that high in the grand scheme of things. There was much more on-chain trading happening in 2023 and 2024. And so the dynamics around altcoin trading have shifted massively. What we see over here is the number of retail investors over time. So the number of wallets that have at least 40 million Bonk tokens, which is roughly $1,000 worth of the token at current prices. Initially, there was a lot of accumulation, but over time, the number of retail investors went down. Again, on chain, there's almost 1 million holders, but there are only 25,000 holders that have at current prices $1,000 worth of the token. So the vast majority of the wallets have only very small amounts of Bonk. The on-chain trading is really not that relevant anymore. Bonk is only at place number 41 in terms of trending tokens on the Solana chain when we look at liquidity. So the liquidity pool is 250k and there were less than 3,000 wallets interacting with the token in the last 24 hours. Really, all of the price discovery now happens on the perpetual futures. So on the levered bets on the price via market makers, via centralized exchanges. Binance has most spot trading volume with 144 million worth of volume in the last 24 hours. But there's more trading volume on the perpetual futures. OKX and MEXC have more than 300 million. So really, it's the levered bets on the price that determine where the Bonk price is going. And so sometimes investors are betting on falling prices, sometimes they are betting on rising prices. So the perpetual futures funding rate tends to shift every now and then. It was very negative with the rally in the last few days, but then the price shot up even further and liquidated a lot of those shorts. Now the funding rate moved positive again. Just have a look at those liquidations, all of those shorts that lost their money. The price always moves in the direction of maximum pain. When the market makers see a lot of people betting on falling prices, they just buy up more of the spot volume, they just buy up more of the supply, push up the price further and then liquidate everyone. What's important to know is that open interest on the perpetual futures have a direct impact on the price now. Whenever there's a lot of bets on the price, the spot price tends to be elevated as well. Once the open interest, so the bets on the price, go down, the spot price tends to follow as well. And currently open interest is historically again very high, and it's likely going to deflate at some point, which will of course also be negative for the price development. Here's Bonk relative to Solana. We have seen similar rallies in the past, right? Those 100% rallies, they tend to happen relatively frequently. Currently, we are again in such a pump. And again, it's not organic demand that's driving the price. This is short-term manipulation, and this will deflate at some point. The problem is always to find out when exactly it will come down. Because had you bet on falling prices, for example, over here on the 29th of February 2024, then you just got short squeezed one more time. So it's always hard to figure the exact top. But the best way to manage this is to just have a tight stop loss and potentially re-enter the position as we rally a second time. But in general, right now, I think it's better to rather bet on falling than on rising prices, and potentially be okay to lose the bet 1 or 2 times to then be on the right side of history as the price goes back down to reality again. Now, I've talked about this several times on this channel. I don't just buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, but I also don't buy the small altcoins. Most altcoins tend to underperform Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana most of the time. Many people get burned with altcoins all the time. And so I've talked about this before. I will not dive into this in too much detail this time, but I'm simply betting on relative valuations of altcoins continuing to go down because of all the token inflation, right? The early investors, they sell their tokens, etc. That depresses most altcoins long term, at least relative to the major cryptocurrencies, relative to Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana. Now, I'm making money with this pretty consistently. This is my return in the last 2 months, but I've made money with this approach for the last several years. And I was wondering, how can I actually make this work for as many people as possible? Because clearly this strategy does work. Most altcoins go down most of the time. This is the performance of the smaller altcoins in the last year. And so I was reading this book. You probably know him, Alex Hormozi, with $100 million offers. And what I got from this book is that it's probably best to make the offer in a way that, first of all, it's very low risk for everybody that tries it out, but also that success comes very, very quickly. And so I was thinking about this. How can I make the odds of winning so high that the majority of people that join have a winning trade from the get-go? And the answer to this is I'm simply sharing my favorite trade. Now, I've talked about the balancer and balancer relative to Ethereum all the time, etc. But this is actually not my favorite trade anymore. Instead, it is this one over here. Now, this is again a relative valuation bet. So we're not just buying an asset, we go long one thing, we go short another thing. But when we do both at the same time, we get this kind of return. And here's the reason why I like this trade so much. It has so little volatility, it goes up so constantly that the likelihood of losing here is extremely low. If you're holding this particular position for at least 7 days, you're very likely going to be in profit. And so here is my $100 million offer, or the offer that's so good that most people feel stupid not to accept it. Here's how it goes. You get into premium and you watch 2 videos. So that's in total roughly 1 hour of watch time. You then join Hyperliquid, which is a perpetual futures trading platform, the platform where I'm currently making my gains. Once you've watched the videos and you've joined the platform, you then get into the premium Telegram channels. So once you've joined those Telegram channels, I will get a notification and I will send you a personal video message. So in that video message, I will say your name, right? I will say, hello, ABC, welcome to premium, etc. I will then share what to do in the platform in order to get exactly this performance here. If then, after 1 week of holding that position, you are not in profit, then I will refund you the entire membership fee, so the $125 US, and you can also keep the entire remainder of the month premium for free. So you can then binge watch all of those other videos as well. Now, there are periods where this position did not make gains in a 7-day time frame, but the odds are definitely in our favor. And if you're willing to diversify with a few other positions as well, which by the way, I share in premium as well, right? I share every single trade that I do. Then the likelihood of winning is likely even higher. Just to summarize again, right? I'm not saying that you will join and you will instantly make money with whatever trade you're opening. The guarantee is only for this particular trade. If you open this trade after joining, after we've talked in Telegram, and you're not in profit with this particular trade, then you get the money back. So I hope this is a good offer. Feel free to check out Premium. The link should be here at the bottom right. Just click on that. It will lead you directly to the website. If it's the very first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish this regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you next time on YouTube or see you in Premium. Cheers.